Hello, welcome to this EdTPA video tutorial for task number 3, Assessing Student Learning. I'm Dr. Pratt, your EdTPA coordinator. Oh, take a deep breath because you've made it to the last task, the end. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel, hopefully. It's task 3, Assessing Student Learning. You've already created some great lessons. You've taught them and video recorded your lessons. Now all you got to do is show evidence that your students learned some stuff. And so let's get into how to do that. First, you're going to select your best assessment, one assessment that really demonstrates an evaluation of every student developing that central focus that you're talking about. And that assessment actually you add to the end of the commentary after you talk about it. But you're also going to do what you're also going to do is define and submit how you evaluated that assessment, like what criteria you used for evaluating that. Um, and then you're going to summarize the learning of the whole class and then analyze work to identify the patterns that you saw in the learning that took place. So that's for the whole class, one assessment. You're also going to pick 3 samples of student work. So you're going to pick 3 focus students to analyze. One of them has to have special needs. And then you're going to plan for your next steps, kind of what would you do next in your lessons based on this data that you're finding. The submission requirements is that there's 4 parts here. You've already created 7 artifacts and you just have 4 more to complete. One are the samples of your student work. That's 3, pieces of evidence. The evidence of your feedback, and then the commentary that you have in Blackboard. You have to answer 4 questions, I believe. And then the evaluation criteria we just talked about. So for the student work samples, there's 3 files specifically. Student 1, Student 2, Student 3 that you pick of their work. And it could be of any work related to the any of your lessons. There's no page limits. You can use video to demonstrate what the sample of their work. Especially this, I think this is really useful for early early grades like K1. Just make sure if you do upload files, you remove students' names with either a Sharpie or whiteout. Make sure your name's not anywhere on the materials or the school's name. If a student writing is ineligible in one of these samples, you need to type out a transcription and put that on the sample so that the reviewer can read what the student was writing. And you need to make sure that you put on the top of each sample the student number. So get rid of the name and put student 1, work sample, student 2, student 3. Also name the file with the student number so it's very easy for the reviewer to access. The evidence of the feedback is interesting. So sometimes the feedback will be on the student work sample. That's often the case. But I'm going to show you an example of like a rubric that was completed that showed like how you would give feedback, and that would be separate files. You can use video for feedback if you're giving your video, if there's a teaching situation where you're giving feedback to a particular student working in a small group or individual situation. Effective feedback to students, what they're looking for is what they did well and where they need to improve related to whatever objective you're looking at. So make sure you do both positive strengths and kind of areas to improve. So here's the sample of what I was talking about in terms of, here's a sample feedback you would give to a student using a rubric. And not only do you see it's 11 out of 12 points in terms of quantitative score, but then you have some comments here some things that they did well. However, you need to keep working on using finger spaces between your words. Um, so you can see they did both there. A strengthened area to improve. The commentary has is 10 pages max. It talks about analyzing your student learning, feedback that you gave that guides further learning, evidence of language understanding and use, and how you used assessment to inform your instruction. And so this commentary, if you go into Blackboard, you'll see, and I'll try to send you an email with a direct link to the commentary. So you just answer those questions like you're used to. And then evaluation criteria, there's just one file that you use for the evaluation criteria. The rubrics are pretty straightforward, and they're the exact same for elementary and secondary. How does a candidate analyze the evidence of student learning? And the analysis focuses on what the students did right and wrong. And you also include some analysis of differences in the whole class. So this is kind of analyzing with like a graph or a chart indicating each student and what are the differences or patterns that you notice. Patterns are really important if you want to get a 4 or a 5 on this one. This rubric 12, they're looking for feedback that's specific, and I mean, I think you should shoot for 4s here. Addresses both strengths and needs. Just make sure it's specific. That's the key. If it's general, even if you do strengths and needs, if it's general, you'll get a 2. And a lot of people did get 2s, I noticed last year. Work on specific feedback for both strengths and needs. And then candidate describes how focus students will understand or use feedback. That's mainly through that commentary. And you also explain and provide evidence of students' use of language function. Oh, and then finally, 15, you just propose some general next steps to support and improve learning. And it would be great if you connected again, kind of going full circle back to research or theory to state, why you think that would really help. This tutorial was short, but I think it's pretty straightforward in terms of what you need to do. It's mainly getting the one assessment that you're going to use in data for the whole class, every student in the class, and be ready to analyze that and make sure you bring that to the workshop. If you don't know how to analyze it, I can help you. And then the 3 samples, make sure you have your 3 samples and evidence of you giving them feedback. And then you should be set. Our October 10th is our final workshop for task 3. And that's your first opportunity where I'll give you a code so that you could submit if you feel like, if you come to October 10th kind of done, and then based on the feedback that what I present to you, if you feel like, hey, I did it, I'm done. Some of you are expressing interest in wanting to kind of move on from this. So that's the first possible time that you could submit the whole thing, and I'll help you with that. That's going to be in Hammond from 5 to 7:30 in Gate 108. And then our target submission date for everyone to Pearson is October 17th. The problem is I'm going to be at a conference in New England or something, and I won't be around at all. So you can totally do this on your own. I'm going to be sending you instructions and maybe making another video on how to submit the whole thing. So you could do it on your own. I did want to provide a backup plan if you feel unsure and you want some help. I have this. This is still within the time of submission. This is the last possible day to submit. That's why I wanted to do the 17th in case we had problems, but I could help you on Tuesday the 22nd in Westville. I'll be around from 5 to 8. And you could just, this is totally optional. You could just come in and say, I'm scared. I don't know if I'm doing this right, or I don't know if I want help submitting this. Then I might just be in my office, and you'll just come in and we'll just kind of work together on making sure you feel prepared and satisfied with the quality of your work. I can't really give feedback at that point. It's just helping you with the submission process. So, yeah, that's it. And then you're done. So, just waiting for results, and you should be getting them right around Thanksgiving time, and I'll be notifying you of your success. So it's just once you get task 3 done, it's the rest of the time is for you to enjoy the rest of your placement in student teaching. All right, thank you so much for watching this video.